San Diego Crusaders, soon to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, once again after that horrible experiment in San Diego this year.
Realistically, he picked up probably one of the best running backs in the draft, so you should probably hang on to him.
This is the fact that the guy didn't fit his scheme, and I have a guy that fit his scheme, and it was just, we talked about it. But yeah, I was just wondering because in real, I said it might be able to go through, mainly because in real life you would do trades like that all the time. For example,
actually, you very rarely see trades for players' rights during the draft. The only real example of it happening was the Eli Manning to British trades.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were going for. But
anyway, we're about 2 minutes from kicking off round 4 with the San Diego Crusaders soon to go on the board. I mean, what do you gentlemen think? The Crusaders picked up, Justin Harold, a solid free safety and a solid end. I mean, they definitely gone with decent. They definitely gone with a lot of defense here, and I mean, it's definitely noticeable. But I mean, do you think they continue to pick up more defense, or do you think they start looking for offense to shore up some more needs as the team?
I think they could look for offensive line. I mean, that offensive line has aged drastically over the last few years. Just a lot of pieces that need to be replaced, and they have a very good running back in Jatavius Whitlow and a solid passing game with Jake Fromm and Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think getting those guys some protection and guys that can open up the lanes are essential.
I agree with him on that one. I think they should probably focus on getting the depth on their line to give their quarterback and their running back the ability to make plays happen, considering that big free agency signing they had. I believe that focus on that line to get them more deadly, and we could possibly see this team make a playoff push in 1 year, and the worst team to a playoff team.
I wouldn't be surprised if we in the wild card this season, absolutely. With that all being said and done, it is time to kick off the 4th round of the DSRL Year 7 draft. And with that being said, the San Diego Crusaders are now on the board.
Well, how'd your game go yesterday?
We got our butts handed to us that game. It was our offense couldn't get going. They threw me in at quarterback, and we moved the ball down the field pretty well, actually, when I got in. And then I ended up throwing a pick in the end zone, about 5 yards out from the end zone. It got tipped, and we ended up losing the game, like 26-0, something like that. Yeah, it was tough for me. I had to guard a all-state track star. He was all-state in the 100, 200, and I think 400.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
And the Crusaders keep it going with defense. Daryl Roberson actually is the first player off the board in the 4th round here. And I believe he might actually have been one of the best players there available at this time of the draft. Mr. Roberson was actually the 7th best player available at Clemson. He's short, stocky guy. Seems to play the position well. He's a nickel package specialist at Clemson. He wasn't an every down guy, but I mean, in his career, he did record 75 total tackles with 7.5 sacks. So, I mean, I think for the Crusaders, this is another developmental pick, but going forward into the future, I think this guy's got a good potential for himself. What about you guys?
Absolutely. I think he's going to carve out a nice career for himself rushing the passer. I think you won't see him as an every down linebacker, but I think he's valuable getting some of your base package guys off the field and getting them a breather while he rushes the passer out of nickel packages.
I say he probably never be a everyday starter. I never have that high ceiling that you want from a right outside linebacker, but he will be good at coming off the bench, giving a starter right outside linebacker a break for a couple plays to not really lose anything on
Nevada, all Mountain West player his freshman year, tall average weight, but I mean, he looks like he can definitely help the Falcons keep building a younger and rejuvenated offensive line.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
And a very solid pick here from the Bears here. Moses Manning, a corner out of Wisconsin Whitewater, another one of those small school guys who flashed through in Senior Bowl week, and I think a guy who can really come in and make a name for himself in the league.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great pick coming off the board. He has potential to actually be a starter in the league, at least a two corner. I like it.
And here goes another potential starter in the league, Justin Goldman. Indiana, consistently produces one or two starters per season, and I think he can work his way into a starting role on the defensive line for the Jaguars.
The Cardinals are now on the
Totally agree with that.
Sylvester Adams, wide receiver out of Mississippi Valley State, going to the New England Patriots, and I mean he was the best, second best wide receiver left on the board here. I believe we have him listed as a deep threat, but I mean the guy's got talent. He was the sixth best player on the board, second best receiver left on the board. Average height and weight, but he was number 4 in yards per catch at the FCS level in 2025, averaging 21.2 yards per catch. I mean, he's shown he can be explosive. The height and the weight, leave him a little exposed to stronger players in the defense. But looking at it, I mean, the guy looks like he can make a difference. And the New England Patriots are still on the rebuilds, so I mean, it's a system fit. I think he's going to do well for them. Next on the board, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who've done really well in this draft so far. Picking up a bunch of line and a very talented free safety in the third round. Probably one of the best third round draft picks available. If not, actually, he was the best player picked in the third round by members of our league, a 74 overall free safety. So the Cardinals have been a very consistent team this draft. Where do you see them going?
I think they can continue on the offensive side. I think pass rush is a possibility. Adding a receiver, a potential replacement for Mike Thomas here, potentially, and a guy they can groom to be a number 1 receiver nowadays.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Do that for the draft all the time. I don't know why.
And Nate Askew.
Very nice.
Taman's coming up in 2 more picks. He has the 8th pick. He gets the 10th pick in the 4th round.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Cornelius Babs out of SMU. I mean, he was definitely at the top of the. He's number 12 available. He's a tall and strong left end out of SMU, and he led their defense with 15.5 career stacks in his 2 seasons starting. He's definitely got potential to be a part of the Seahawks' 12th man on defense, and I'd be curious to follow his story over the next 5 seasons to see what he can do with that. Denver Broncos are now on the clock. We're going to pause the draft here until we can get them signed in.
Let's see. The Giants want to send Dalvin Tomlinson to the Rams for a 4th round pick.
Who? Send who to the Rams?
Dalvin Tomlinson.
For a first?
No, for the 4th round pick of the Rams.
Oh, 4th round pick for the Rams. I have to. How old is he?
31 years old.
31 years old.
Can we get the information on his contract?
I'm looking for him right now. I don't know what position he plays.
Defensive tackle.
You already drafted a D tackle.
Dalvin Tomlinson is not on the Rams roster as a defensive tackle.
No, Dalvin Thompson's on the Giants roster.
Go one year, $12.1 million contract this year, so he's a big money kid at his age.
Don't quit. Oh, there we go.
So, 8.83 million cap hit he pays.
I mean, with his regression, I mean, he's starting to be more into trade because he's just going to be a body on his roster or not. I mean, that's going to be my determining factor.
That's letting you know.
I mean, truthfully, he's not even going to be a starter on the Rams team. They have a 29-year-old Christian Wilkins and 82 overall, plus Lynn Vaughn.
Rotation and better run D.
We have had our pick. Deshaun Coverding has got drafted from Georgia. What do you think about that pick?
Solid pick. I mean, it's a better pick than we got for the middle linebacker there. I mean, it's pretty freaking solid.
So we're so they are saying now Dalvin Thomas.
Please post your player overall that you picked from this round, because I forgot to write them down.
You want to know their overalls that got picked up? So we've had 66, 65. So our first pick in the draft was that Buck, and Crusaders drafted damn, I didn't think of the positions, my bad. I've been,
Also,
you know, I had to
if you're
bounce
not on the
back and
trade
forth.
committee, your opinion is no to relevant. But Juwan, we'll hop in the trade committee chat so you can get your opinion of the two actual trade committee guys in here, because I'm just kind of filling in since
What
I'm just a party.
So right now,
they throwing
Jamil, the trade is looking like the Giants send Dalvin Tomlinson and the 7th round pick for the Rams' 4th round pick.
Is this in the front office, right? I can look at this.
Yeah,
in
it's
front
front office.
office.
I'm saying he needs
Is that-
to. I'll say the Giants need to include their 5th round pick.
You think the Giants need to include their 5th and 7th for the
No,
4th?
Dalvin
just
Tomlinson and the 5th for the Rams' 4th rounder.
Because I think Dalvin Tomlinson's not going to be playing as much, so I think
He's going to be a rotational piece, and he's not going to even get enough XP to warrant his stars next year.
I see that, but what is his 4th round pick in this draft? Does he have early 1st, 4th round pick, or
the Rams are picking right now.
I say he has to throw in. If he throws in a 6, I would give it a yes. I'm not sure about anybody else, but a 6, so anything 6 or higher, I would give it a yes. 7 is just not enough value.
Cardinals, what was your player overall? Juwan, what was your player overall that you drafted? If you can type that in the chat for me, please.
Yeah, 2 7s. I just got word from the Giants that he's offering Delvin Thomas and 2 7th round picks for his 4th.
I'm fine with that.
Alright, I am fine with that as well.
Was that right outside linebacker, Juwan? Denver took a 66 middle linebacker. Arizona Cardinals, what did you take? What's good to everybody tuning in? You're part of the league. What's good everybody if you're not? Alright, and then D, I just need your pick and his overall position. I don't think I've missed any other users so far this round. Well, I know the Ravens did pick somebody, but Ravens weren't here.
We have
I'll
to
figure-
wait
I'll
on
figure the
Juwan's
Ravens.
vote on this. I mean, we are a committee, and we are.
He says yes for the D and then the 7th for the 4th.
All right, so he has a 100% trade approval.
All right, yeah, go ahead with it.
Alright,
Us.
absolutely. And then again, Arizona Cardinals, I need, what was your overall for your pick in his position?
Now let me go ahead and go back to our where I was at. Our 2025 draft.
What
This
looks like
draft-
both ballrooms are
All right,
feverishly
so the
back on
trade is
phones.
through. We can go
I
ahead
think
and
that means a trade is coming.
Roger that. And again,
So the-
Arizona Cardinals, if you could please tell me your pick, because I see it on the stream.
The Packers are now on the clock.
And he, with that trade, he traded. I can be there, and we can have some fun.
Well, this has already been a wild draft. I mean, it's shaping up to
The
be
London Monarchs
an even better
are now
one
on
going
the
down the road. And
Oh,
another,
Montreal Whitmer off the clock, the receiving back out of Bowling Green State University.
And
Whatever.
that's who I thought Diablo should have picked up. I said I would before everybody started drafting. I was gonna say Diablo should have picked up Montrose Whitmer. He led the MAC conference in rushing yards. He didn't get that many rushing touchdowns, but he has that motor that you're looking for in a two-back. He wants to be the one-back, and I believe that Green Bay just picked up a steal. He will be able to progress into that one-back you need him to be.
Well, I mean, he had those rushing yards, the lower touchdowns, but I mean, you gotta acknowledge that man also led the MAC in receptions last year from the halfback position. Those 75 catches, 805 yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns. That man was a force to be reckoned with. That's 1,800 total yards on offense. As
Yes.
a two-back, I mean, that's insane. That's
I mean,
absolutely insane.
He does that at any other school. If he does that at a Power 5 school, he's a first round pick. Easily a first round pick. Yeah, he shouldn't even drop to the 4th. And I believe that this guy will be the best player to come out this 4th round.
I think
if they
probably
use
got
him
the
right.
brightest future. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Alright, that means so we got the London Monarchs now on the board. They've had a solid draft themselves looking at it. You know, they picked up some decent offensive line with a 77 right guard, you know, picked up a 64 middle linebacker, you know, in the 2nd round, so a little undershot there, and I can't really
Kevin already
recollect
drafted.
their 3rd round pick, but I
You're switching
mean,
the-
realistically, where are we looking at the Monarchs? What do you see them doing?
really, they can go anything right here. I mean, they've addressed a lot of needs early in the draft, and I think right now is a place where they can make some money building depth at the position.
I say they should probably go depth on their defense, considering that their best players on their defense, besides with the exception of their linebacker, is it Micha, whatever his name is?
Micah Parsons. Yeah.
Micah Parsons. They're getting kind of to the older end, and Anthony Barr's not going to be that guy that he needs him to be anymore. I just think that he should probably go deeper on the defensive side. His offense is okay. I don't like his quarterback. Maybe draft another quarterback. We'll see what he does, though.
I completely agree. Looking at quarterbacks, I mean, there really aren't a lot of reliable
The
quarterbacks.
Colts
I like to
are
see
now on the clock.
where
Left
Travis.
end.
Curious to see where
Minnesota.
Travis Cunningham goes, quarterback out of Maryland. He's dropped down far from where we were expecting in the early 2nd, 3rd rounds for him. I mean, he's tall, lean for his height, but I mean, 16-8 as a starter in the Big Ten over 3 seasons is definitely nothing to snub at. I mean, he went 6-2 last year. I mean, the team
The
progressed
Raiders
this year, they
are
didn't
now on
finish
the clock.
ranked, but you know, oh my, Morris Burnett out of Richmond moves off the board to the Indianapolis Colts. What a pick! What a pick.
I think this guy has a chance to be a 3 receiver in the league. I think if you work on him, focus on him
The
in
Buccaneers
practices,
are now on the clock.
he can do it.
Anthony Tovar, second best sender that was left on the board, actually the best ranked player on the board at the moment. Out of Colorado, he did very well for them this year. The Buffaloes were a much high-powered offense on the ground, and it's definitely a lot to do with him. He's tall, decent weight, and he recorded 12 pancakes in his game against Colorado State last year. So I mean, this dude has shown that he is a monster in the trenches. Just some good defensive. Some good coaching, and I think he'll do very well in this league. Buccaneers now on the clock. Curious to see how they do.
Well, I'm thinking that leading more heavy on trading away their high fourth round pick and using that. So, is it cool if I trade this fourth round pick for a fourth round pick next year for Miami?
Alex?
Or Jackson? It's beeping at 15 seconds. Yeah, I have to say, well, it's beeping on me now.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. Can we get the input from our other trade committee?
That was a quick yes.
All right, so I can do the Miami trade.
Do it right now.
How come nobody's at the podium? That's because both teams are right now working on a trade.
All right, the Miami Dolphins again on the board here, looking at continuing to fill their depth chart going forward. The team's been quite static the past few years, but they did finish last season on a rough note, struggling to.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
No, and again, yeah.
Kamari Miller, another small school player who really shouldn't be on the board right now, but that logo on the side of the helmet apparently means something to scouts.
I mean, Southern Arkansas isn't known for putting out really great running backs, but this guy had a great season with them, and I am surprised to see him fall. Well, I mean, actually, this is probably where he should have been drafted around early fourth round pick, mid to early fourth round pick. If he would have fell to the fifth, I would have been really surprised. I'm glad to see him off the board.
Yeah, you're just starting to notice that this wasn't a very skill possession heavy draft. Most people were prioritizing the trenches and front seven. Well, I mean, it's interesting to see some of these players that in years past may have got, late first, second, or third round dropping to the fourth and the fifth. I mean, look at Rajon Jackson for the Tennessee Volunteers, Chris Engler for Florida State. And those players were projected early first round picks. These guys barely made it out.
And I'm pretty sure that this running back was even considered a top 25 left him on the board. This is a steal for Dolphins to get a gem like this.
The Chicago Tigers are now on the
Ravens
clock.
getting some talent here, so Victor Ferguson.
Good D tackle.
Definitely nice to see him coming out of the University of South Carolina, SEC getting heavy representation this week as, they are,
The London
these guys out of the
Monarchs
SEC
are now
are just
on the clock.
big guys. He's definitely making an impact in there. Kyle Gentry now going to the new Chicago Tigers. Free safety out of Coastal Carolina, smaller school, but I mean, he's got a high ceiling, decently high floor. He's coming into the league as a 67 overall, so he's going to be about an average player coming into the league, so assuming he can make it on the Monarchs again on the board.
I think this Kyle Gentry, I think he's a one-trick pony. He's not good at, pretty sure, the run stop, but he's really good when it comes to zone coverage and getting his hands on the ball. And I would be surprised to see him as a rookie not end up on the field and with at least 1 or 2 interceptions by the end of his rookie year.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the Chicago Tigers, former Detroit Lions, I think they could be looking for help in the secondary, and I think they'd be willing to give that man a shot in this preseason and see what he can do. If he develops, you might see him on the field if you want.
And speaking of the Chicago Tigers, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but to see Detroit move from Detroit to the rival city, the biggest rival we had, to their rival city and then throw salt in the Detroit Tigers baseball team by naming them the Tigers. I mean, this just looks like we didn't want to be in Detroit. We hate you guys, and we're going to do it by moving to Chicago and naming them the Tigers.
Are now on the clock.
Like,
Gerard Lawrence, the other highly rated back, still on the board for the London Bombers here.
Toledo, isn't Toledo known for giving out, what is it? Not Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt? Isn't that what Kareem Hunt went to?
Mm-hmm.
So,
he has big shoes to follow.
Brooklyn
Big
Beats
shoes to
are now
follow.
on the clock.
Tyrone Hayes going to Buffalo Bills, another decently high wide receiver on his board. But I mean, yeah, going out of Colorado State, I mean, the monster specimen, super tall, super heavy, but I mean, super underdeveloped. Colorado State was 12 and 36 in his time in the school and had the worst
The
offense in the
Chiefs
FBS.
are now on the clock.
And they only averaged about 194 passing yards a game. So throughout his career, he only recorded about 7 career touchdowns. However, on his 109 career receptions, he had 0 drops. So let's see Tyrone Hayes doing work in Buffalo on Sundays. Kansas City Chiefs are now on the board after Tyler Sparks from Louisville heads off the board, the number 9 ranked player going into today. Led the ACC in fewest career catches over a 3-year period with 2. He can find holes in any defensive zone, top-tier route runner, and he can develop well with the right quarterback and wide receiver coaches. So we'll potentially see Tyler Sparks part of this recruiting offense for the Brooklyn Beats. Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs are number 1. How do you see us going for that?
Well, I mean, they've really gone trench heavy this draft, and I look for a lot of that to continue. I think a lot of their deficiencies came in the lines last year, and I think they're going to look to rectify that in this draft.
Yes, I mean, the Chiefs aren't getting any younger. They have a lot of old players on their team. I think they can pretty much go anywhere, and this guy will be playing for them within 2 to 3 years, because whatever position they go, that person might be retiring. They're pretty old of a team.
Yeah, and they're going to be strapped for cash too as well, signing huge extensions a few years back for Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Free safety LaRon Marsh out of Weber State. I think this is a good pick for him. It's absolutely a great pick for them.
Definitely not a bad pick. Again, he's one of those guys I could see coming in, getting 1 to 2 picks as a rookie. I don't see them, even with his low floor. I don't see him not starting for this team. He should definitely get some playing time for this team.
Absolutely, I like to see him get a majority of that snaps in the preseason. Even though the starters are out, he can be expected station and go get you as soon as we can.
You gotta get that Jeopardy music. I don't know.
He's got an invite.
All right, welcome in, Coach McDonald. I'd like to ask you now a couple questions. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay today.
All right. Well, to touch on it, I mean, you did start off the draft with a really high pick as a decent running back, with your first overall pick in the first round, and since then it's been pretty much a mixed bag. I mean, 59 overall cornerback, 54 wide receiver with this pick, and I mean, 73 right in the third round. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, do you think what had your gut thinking to take Solomon here?
I felt like we needed the depth more than the starter and needed a returner, potentially.
Understandable. I mean, do you think this man's going to be, practice squad? Do you think he's going to be on the field in the preseason this year? Or how are you looking to gauge this guy's career going forward?
He might be practice squad, or he might just get that 6th spot, because we like 6 receivers here in San Fran.
Alright, so here first, Solomon Freeman might actually wind up being on the field this year for the San Francisco 49ers. Don McDonald, thank you again for coming in, and we appreciate you every time that you stop by. Good luck with the rest of your draft going forward.
You're welcome. I'll be back.
Pass it off to you, Coach DeMille and Coach Alex. I mean, what do you think here about the 49ers picks? It seems like it's been boom or bust for them. Either it's been a solid pick or it's just been downright terrible. I mean, what do you think is going on with this front office?
I mean, absolutely. There has been no room for any kind of error with them because of how they've drafted. They've really put themselves in a tight spot with some of the picks they've made, and if some of the players that they have on the roster steps up and does what they're supposed to, then this won't be such a badly looked upon draft. But if they start needing that 59 overall corner or the receiver they just took, then it's going to be a really tough time for them to go anywhere in this league.
Absolutely, I completely feel that. And now looking ahead, the Buccaneers pick just came through on the wire. Rashawn Bright, tight end out of Rutgers, stepping in. Coach DeMille, I mean, how do you feel about this pick going forward? I mean, I think this guy could be a potential starter for you in the next couple seasons, if not this year. I mean, but what do you think?
Well, since I like to run at least 2 to 3 tight ends out on the field, because I am a very run-heavy team, I saw that he had the size, he has the weight, and he is a blocking tight end. I just leave him out there.
What is that noise?
That was actually my air conditioner. That's disturbing.
Well, as I was saying, I just needed him to go out there and hit some people to give Trey Sanders that ability to score more touchdowns this year. We're looking forward to a great season with him, and he might end up as my 3 tight end, considering that O.J. Howard has got franchise tag this year.
Absolutely. Tampa Bay looking really good in their continuing efforts to reload and take them back at a shot to a Super Bowl this next season. They did fall just short in the NFC title game this last year, but they were 14-2 and definitely the best record under their coach. And it seems like the step with the next, their quarterback definitely helped them take the next step. But with these blockers and this rejuvenation effort on defense for them, and they're going to be in a good position. They pick up the center, left guard, tight end, right guard, and left end. I mean, they're looking fantastic here. To see Tampa Bay back in the Super Bowl picture for the NFC this next season.
Yep, we like to see that. I can't wait to see who Monarchs drafts. I think this their fourth round pick. The head coach has his assistant drafting for him. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, absolutely. The coach is in right now. He's definitely taking his time. Definitely trying
Oklahoma
to make the
City
right
Bison
moves.
are
Matt
now
Dixon, 63 overall quarterback.
And then Bison's comes up with a very fast pick. Very fast with Travis Cunningham back to back. Yes. I like Travis Cunningham. I like him out of Maryland. He's definitely a developed guy. He probably will only see the field if their starter gets hurt, to be honest.
Another tight end off the board, Rob Bray to the to the Jets here. Prototypical size for a corner. I mean, and his athleticism is really an unknown because he did not compete at the combine. So tough to say what he's going to pan out to be in the pros, but a lot of potential there.
Yeah. Fun fact: I don't think anybody competed in the draft combine. Were they protesting or something this year?
I think the coronavirus made a comeback and they had to cancel a lot of the postseason stuff going on in the league. And I mean, it's all well and good, player safety and everything. Not gonna really complain here. I'm honestly gonna go with wide receiver here. We have got a 3rd round talent, Nikhil Edens, still on the board. I'm gonna take a risk here and hope that this man at 6'2", 199 is what we need.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Not at all. I mean, realistically speaking, the kid's he's not fast. I mean, he's not going to be world-beating speed. He's going to get up to that speed quickly. But he's decent hands. He's just going to need to learn how to route run better. His release is absolutely terrible. So he's just going to need a lot of coaching. I think 2 to 3 years you may see him outside there with Brian Wood and Brendan Eagles out here in this draft.
I would like to see him get a chance. You know, he might. I don't know. He might end up as a practice squad player.
I mean, he's going to be out there this preseason. Don't get it bad. Between him and Doug Cubs, he's going to be seeing some. He's going to be seeing some attempts. We're going to work this stuff out in the preseason. But it's all up to him. That's all up to Akil and how much work he's willing to put in on a day-to-day basis in practice. How he handles not starting over the first 2 years.
Yeah. He might call it quits. Yeah. He has this chance to make his dreams come true.
Well, I think we did. I feel like our assistant made that phone call. I think he was really excited to get an opportunity in the NFL. I mean, he wasn't really expected to be drafted, much less play. Nelson Cross, running back at Louisiana Monroe, coming off the border here. Kid was special in the Sun Belt, but it does feel like the Sun Belt competition may more so be a detriment to his ability to develop. I mean, he's a short, stocky, elusive back. He's built like a fullback, but he's got the speed of a track star. He led the Sun Belt total yards in 2025 with 1,738. I mean, he's got the flashes to be good, but you know, we'll see what he can do. We will definitely see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't pursue a career in track and try to make it to the Olympics that way. But it's easier to come into the NFL than it is to make it to the Olympics.
It's easier to feed your family that way too, so I mean, it's completely understandable. Alright, we're heading over to the 5th round, and the San Diego Crusaders are back on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take about a 5-minute break. Coach CM Alex and Coach Manil are going to take over for a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll be back in a moment.
Crusaders pick is coming in right now.
The Brooklyn Beats are now on the clock.
Mario McDonald. He's a solid end for them, and I think once he develops a little bit more, I think he can potentially step in and play for them.
I believe that he can get some time in. I hope he does get time in, but I can see him also not touching the field too for a while.
Oh, absolutely. He is very much a boom or bust prospect, as well as Le'Veon Sellers here.
This D tackle class has been really deep. I mean, high 60s throughout the class. We even had some high 70s. I mean, this D tackle class is probably one of the best classes we've seen in a while, and he can potentially get some playing time his first year.
I absolutely agree, and he's going to be part of a much deeper rotation at defensive tackle than he has been in the past. In the past, he has been that guy at defensive tackle, and I think he's going to have to adjust this year to not being that guy. But I think
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, being a guy at Texas to being the third, fourth guy here in Beats, that might be a little trouble for him. Chuck Clinton. I do not know much about this guy, this left end from Clemson. You know anything about him?
No, he's a bit of an unknown. He was a bit buried on the depth chart for a lot of his career, and picks are starting to come fast and furious now. We are at Lester Wiley from Washington State. Very good depth pick at middle linebacker, and I think he's going to be a guy who contributes right away to the Bison, but it's more likely than not going to be a special teams guy.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Yeah. I mean, as we get later into the fourth round, into the early 5th round, a lot of these guys getting drafted from here on out will probably be guys you see in practice squad probably not touch the field much, unless you get a big steal. These guys are just development players with potential to maybe touch the field.
Absolutely, and Jesse Gabriel goes to the Patriots. I think they don't really need him right now to be anything more than a insurance policy to their starter, and I think that's a good thing because at most I think that's where he probably fits best as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything you said. They probably should never drafted him. They probably should have went somewhere else. But I am not the coach or the general manager for New England, so what I say doesn't mean anything to them.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
We're just going to call this guy Alex.
Alex Aquaviva.
Glad you know how to pronounce that.
Hey, he's an Auburn fan. He should know how to pronounce it.
Auburn University going to
the Broncos are now on the clock.
Wow, that's a steal.
This is huge for the Seahawks. We need a lot of help.
Could you please pause the draft? I have to get a hold of the Denver owner.
Play down.
Be right back. That was a great pick by the Seahawks, by the way. Great pick.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Bradley Boswell from the University of Wyoming off the board, which outside linebacker. Not a great prospect for the draft this year as a season to be able to go out linebacker class, but it seems like he can fill his needs at this point.
I think it was just a hometown pick. I mean, Denver, Wyoming. Wyoming doesn't have a NFL team. I think it was just more of a hometown pick there, you know.
Absolutely.
Los Angeles Rams are now on the clock with the 5th round. They're looking at the overall pick for this round.
insane. Some players definitely have the ability and the chops to do it in an elite round. But we'll see what Los Angeles is looking at as they get picked in the fourth with went defense early on in this draft, picking a cornerback, free safety, and a strong safety, finishing third round with a wide receiver. Do you think we find more talent for Trevor Lawrence and Megan Garlick out there, or do you think he looking to build his defense?
I mean, I'd say go for defense.
Absolutely. I think their offense is set, and I think a good defense can go a long way towards them making a run at the postseason.
Now on the clock.
Clay Rod is off the board. Clay Rod from Colorado State is off. Clay, I mean, he didn't have a great career at Colorado State. I think mainly because Colorado State was just so bad during his playing there. I'm not to say he's a bad talent. I think, coaching brings into effect here. He was the 25th best available player on the board going into today. So, I mean, he definitely went above where he was, or behind where he was supposed to go. I mean, it's going to be something with proper coaching. So, I mean, good luck Clay Rod in your career and your career with Los Angeles Rams. Something special.
Okay, I have to step away for a few minutes. You guys can send my post that comes up.
Absolutely. Look at the Green Bay Packers on the board next. I mean, they've been drafted pretty well themselves, pretty consistently, if I might add. They had a decent running back, a decent lineman, cornerback, left end. I mean, they did pick up a bust early in the second round, pick 17 picked up the 60th overall safety. I mean, it's mostly been enough draft. We'll see.
The Texans are now on the clock.
59 overall, Fenner Lodge ended up in Carolina.
Oh man, I am having issues with hearing you right now. Hello. Wow, okay. Hello? Hello? This is tough. My headsets are not working. Oh, my headset cut off. Or was that your headset? Oh, I was like, yo, you got the middle of talking and then cut off, and I thought my headset cut off because the way it faded away, and I was like, oh shit, I am having trouble.
But we'll see how Houston goes here. They've had a pretty successful draft. There are 2 picks coming in the first 2 rounds. They haven't drafted since round 2, but 75 overall wide receiver and a 70 corner. They've done very well. We'll see if they can continue to build their depth and needs as they go.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Defensive tackle at UCLA, another depth position. He'll probably be a practice squad player. But definitely see going forward.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Further we get into this draft, the more practice squad players you will see every now and then. As we see the Seahawks, you will get a guy that has the potential to start. A great pick from Adrian Kelly, from South Carolina. He's a guy that needs to develop, but he can potentially be up there and play in the NFL.
Absolutely. I think this guy's got some upside to him coming out of his school in South Carolina with his many players.
The London Monarchs are now on the clock.
Ross Pope, wide receiver from Arizona, one of the best players we've seen this round. The Oakland Raiders are definitely looking to help Kyler out going forward. So I mean, definitely really liking the direction that they're going in at the moment.
I like it. More receivers, more weapons, more ability for him to scramble out the pocket and run.
That's super good. On the Monarchs again, I mean, they've drafted very well so far. They had 3 picks in the 4th round, 69, 65, and 60. 2 on defense, 1 on offense. And the first round pick was 77 from MacArthur. Really good going in the interior. They made the
It's a tough call with power, with especially in the NFC with powerhouses like Dallas, Bisons, Buccaneers. You have New York Giants that had that 9-game winning streak before they got upsetted in the wild card round. I mean, he will have to beat a lot of high talented teams. He has the potential, he has the team to make it to an NFC title game, but I don't know if he can make it to the Super Bowl. But great pick. That's a great pick to help Jameis Winston out, and maybe he might throw the ball better. Jameis Winston had a great year last year. Making the Pro Bowl as a quarterback, but he has historically had a good year and then a bad year. So right now is his chance to break that curse he has, and with this left tackle, he might have more time in the pocket to be able to do it.
Yeah, we got some blowback here in the San Francisco front office. Insanely upset about this, as they seem to have regretted their pick and wish that they had picked up A.J. Hammond. A.J. Hammond, I mean, looking at it, he was one of the top 50, 60 best players on the board in this draft. I mean, the guy fell for no reasons outside of it. I think people were just looking at it as a player. Unfortunately, I mean, for them, I'm a very cheap player in the 5th round. Unfortunate for A.J. Hammond, it looks like his first 3 years in the league are going to be very underpaid.
I mean, A.J. Hammond, he's from Iowa State. You like Iowa State as a team, but you don't like what they produce most of the time. I think he just had the
Chicago Tigers are now on
the fact that there were so many good left tackles in this draft, so many good linemen, that people just forgot about them. And I agree. I think that's exactly what happened. Is you draft so many, you see so many gone, you think that there can't be another good left tackle left, but yet there was one, and I'm surprised that they was able to see that diamond in the rough.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
I mean, looking at this board here, I mean, realistically speaking, you got the Miami Dolphins here going to just absolutely load up on players in depth these later rounds. They got 5 picks in the next 6, or 3 picks in the next 6. You got the Redskins here looking to pick again. They haven't picked since round 3 when they picked up a right outside linebacker. They picked up a middle linebacker in the center. I think they keep going defense. I think they got a proper offense now in the next weapons they get in. I think they should keep going defense and keep continuing to build.
I totally agree. Redskins also, speaking of teams that have the potential to make the playoff, the wild card game, NFC championship game. He's a team that started off hot, started off very well, and then he kind of just lost games that he needed to win. That big loss to the Bisons last year really put the nail in the coffin. So the New York Giants were able to sneak in as that wild card team. I would like to see how he does, since he got rid of Dwayne Haskins and Tubbs. I would like to see what he does with Bo Nix. He might like him, he might not. I'm just very interested to see how this team goes.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Another
one. Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns, turned out a nice little running back prospect here. Not much is really known about him. He didn't make the combine, obviously. The combine was canceled this year. But they have depth behind Travis Etienne. I think it's the right move. He can show that he is a third pro.
The Brooklyn Beasts are now on the clock.
That being said, John Paxton now off the board.
Good pickup. I think it's a great pickup considering you don't know what you get in golf every game. He's a great player, but through and throughout he showed that he's very inconsistent when it comes.
Are now on the clock.
And I think with this pick that he might not come to replace him right away, but if he keeps messing up, he has a hungry quarterback below him that wants that opportunity. Is that me? No, it's not me. We're just waiting on the Chiefs pick to get in. I believe his headset's died again, so we'll be waiting on that for a while. I think Beats pick was a pretty good pick from Georgia Tech. He's not really a thrower considering that he's used to the triple option, but Beats needed to do something with that horrible year they had last year.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
And I believe it cut out again. Timothy Cleveland, probably a better fit in Cleveland just because I like the last name. But
the Dolphins are now.
Other than that, I have nothing against that guy. How can I read his name? Is that Aquil Gates? Aquil Gates just got drafted from Maryland. Aquil? Just got drafted from Maryland. I mean, he's nothing special. Practice squad guy at best, I believe.
Are now on the clock.
Another wide receiver to help out Jared Goff. Maybe he can actually start hitting them in their hands.
Exactly. I mean, if Goff keeps overthrowing everything, he's going to
Yeah, he just, I don't know. He's too good to let go, but man.
The London Monarchs are now on the clock.
I just feel like too many coaches gave up on that man early in his career, especially in the DSRL. I think that was just passed around way too much. I think Jared Goff's career is at least so the Dolphins think the best of the rest of the league.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that him bouncing around from the Rams to the Giants to Miami, to the Monarchs, he hasn't been able to get a system down and be comfortable with the system. He knows so many plays for so many different playbooks and so many different system schemes that and he's not even that old. He's 29 or 30 years old now. Like, to go to 4 teams, 5 teams before you turn 30, and for them to just give up on him.
It's just insane. It just shows a very, very telling sign of how fickle some of the coaches in this league were early in his career. It's unfortunate.
I just feel bad for the guy. I mean, I like making fun of him because he's just so easy to make fun of. But 5 teams, and he in what 6 years, 7 years of playing, 8, I don't even know, like 8 years of playing, like that's crazy to think about.
Good for him, he's made his money. He's been
Oklahoma City Bison are now on the
you want to brag about.
And Duke brings out another prospect. He is Bobby Wagner. Don't get him confused. It's not Bobby Wagner, the linebacker. It's Bobby Wagner, the receiver. If he wants to get a chance to start in this league, he's going to have that Bobby Wagner mentality though, and get better.
Oh, absolutely.
If he don't, practice squad for the rest of his life.
Absolutely. Next up, we got the New York Jets on the board. I mean, this draft has been pretty good since expecting wide receiver, quarterback, tight ends, and he's trying to get some more help. And I mean, continue to bolster that defense. I think that's going to be a really crucial aspect for him. I think he was truly exposed by the Cincinnati Bengals last postseason, and I think in order to get past that and make a run to the Super Bowl, he's got to get better. And not as a play caller, but I think his pieces that he's using need to get
Yes, I agree. I mean, he came in
with the Broadway Joe mentality, and I think in order to back that up, he needs the pieces.
Yep. I mean, he came into the league. They fired their coach midway through the season. They felt like he wasn't putting up the numbers that they wanted him to put up. So they hire this new guy off the streets, and he comes in and he goes on a 11-game winning streak. Well, he finishes. The team finished with an 11-game winning streak, and he thought he was on a high horse. I mean, he got done beating the undefeated Browns at one point, and he got done making sure that the Rams don't make the playoffs. And he was on a high horse, and Bengals knocked him off it. It was a close game. He came back, but that just goes to show you that you got to stay on the throat if you want to win a game. Hopefully he makes the playoffs next year. Hopefully he stays on that high horse, because I like the confidence, but he needs to back it up with at least an AFC championship appearance.
Oh, absolutely.
I would like to see the Bengals make it out of the AFC conference game at least one time. I mean, they're so close but so far every year.
Absolutely, the team is it's been a very well put together team, and I think the quarterback has been the issue for the most of it. I think Bo Nix was somebody that I think he had a lot of faith in, and you know it showed with him bringing Bo from Arizona to Cincinnati with him, but to give up and bringing Dwayne Haskins to replace him shows that I think he was ready to take the big step, and the loyalties don't always win you a championship, and I think he's ready to win that ring.
Yeah, and speaking of Dwayne Haskins, he also drafted Buck, right? Michigan's quarterback.
Yeah, he got Buck Minich late in the first round. Buck Minich jumped all the way to pick 29 in the first round. We were looking at him as a top 5. After winning back-to-back national titles with the University of Michigan, that man was definitely on a hot streak, and he was projected to come in and do very, very well. But again, to fall that late in the first round, you know, not only affects your psyche, but it affects your wallet. And fortunately for him, it affects the caliber of the team he went to in a positive manner, as he goes to a very established offense. He learned from Haskins and Coach Wheeler and the coaching staff there. I wouldn't think he'd probably have any point.
And you cut out again. I was thinking he was getting ready to say he wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne Haskins just on the bench and actually just coaches him into a better player. I just don't understand why trade for Dwayne Haskins if you planned on drafting a quarterback in the first round. I mean, these guys are fighting for a starting spot. They're both young, they're both hungry, and they both want to win. I believe he should.
I understand the logic there. I mean, from what Coach Wheeler explained to me on a one-on-one,
the Browns are now on the clock.
He made a point of saying he was just let the man drop to the point he was there at pick 29, and he couldn't justify letting him pass any further. And you got to realize as well, with the Cleveland Browns at 31, he wasn't going to risk leading a potential next-gen quarterback there. He can get an individual man. Sometimes you just got to make those picks.
And I totally understand. But with this guy, he is not the stereotypical guy we see in our league. In the DSRL league, we never see a guy that can run at least a little bit, even if it's only that he's mobile. This guy is a pure pocket passer who can break tackles. But not a lot of teams don't build their team around it. They build their team around a quarterback that can scramble out of a poor situation and not throw himself out of a poor situation. So I would like to see what happens when that guy is in a tough situation. He wants to scramble with this guy, or this guy wants to scramble, get out the pocket, or anything. I would like to see if they use him with his arm to what it needs to be used, or are they going to give up on him and put Dwayne Haskins in, who's a little bit more mobile.
Browns select Jamison Jackson out of Drake University at wide receiver, continuing to trim wide receivers in the later rounds. He's not great on paper, but I mean, he's got decent speed and acceleration, and the short route running is going to be able to really help the Browns in the long run. Let's see what he can do in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy gets some playing time in preseason and ends up on the practice squad. He needs to develop. He needs that time. He needs to get that support. Practice every day. He needs that. And we have waiting on Dallas for their pick. I don't really know what Dallas need to go here. They're pretty strong at every position, every spot. They're a very solid team. Maybe just depth for when people get ready to get old and start to retire. I mean, Zeke is getting kind of old up there in age. Marcus Lawrence is getting up there in age. Dak Prescott, even though he doesn't start for him, he's getting up there in age. He still has a lot of money on his books. So. And we dropped the D tackle.
Austin Archibald, William Mary, he's a big year later in the draft.
I was wondering, did he draft the D tackle just last round though?
No, he brought that 53 over on halfback. He was looking to replace Ezekiel Elliott with the next one. But I think that pick is definitely not going to be the one to do it. I think he's going to have to look at that pick may not hit the first overall. Dallas Cowboys are relatively good. This draft as a company and the right guard, man. The same thing with Crusaders about the clock.
Hello. Just waiting on this pick to come in. I mean, as of right now, Cowboys are still the favorite to probably make another Super Bowl. There's a lot of strong teams just looking to take them down, but they are the favorite, and this pick just brings more depth to their D tackle spot that they needed, or that they really didn't need, but they wanted. Our Crusaders pick is up.
The Brooklyn Beats are now on the
And
clock.
Dallas Lockhart. For this left end to be a little bit weaker in this draft, Crusaders got a really nice pick with Dallas Lockhart out of Rutgers. He shows some flashes of being a guy that you can rely on, but at the same time, he also has bad plays.
Diablos are now on the clock.
Beats Corey Allen, another halfback getting drafted. He's a solid halfback out of Buffalo. I mean, the MAC just put out quite a bit of solid halfbacks this year.
The Ravens are now
I'd like to see how he does. Diablos draft DeMar Burgess out of the D tackle out of Washington State. I mean, I don't think I've seen a D tackle under 60 get drafted yet. His D tackle class is very deep, and he will be a good backup. You will have to develop this guy, but he's will be there for you, and I would like to see how he does in the NFL, even if it's on a practice spot for a couple of years. Very solid pick for the Diablos. Come off a horrible season. They need to try to re-amp and get to where they want to be, which is hopefully a playoff spot. I am hungry. I should probably go eat something. But
The
I gotta
Bears
wait.
are now on the clock.
Baltimore Ravens select Jalen Irwin, strong safety out of Akron. Another MAC guy. We've been seeing a lot of MAC players get drafted. He's a pretty good pickup for this late. Oh, another strong safety back to back. Jamison Askew. Out of Arizona State. He's not gonna go wrong with this pick. He's a solid pick. Bears are looking to keep that defense strong.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
And Jaguars select Lyle McCauley from New Mexico. First D tackle I've seen under 60 get drafted, but he has a potential to be a decent backup, maybe to sit in the practice squad for a little bit.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Solomon Brooks out of Oregon. He has the potential to start pretty soon. New England is getting really old on their defensive line, and I can see that him getting some playing time this year, maybe next year. I don't see him on the practice squad for too long if he's on the practice squad at all. Great pick by New England. Definitely picking a position that they needed. I'd like to see how this guy pans out. Hopefully they use him and they don't mistreat their players like they normally do. So we'll see what New England does with this guy. They have a couple years to go before they're a playoff team, but if they keep drafting picks like this, they'll be one pretty soon.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Ooh, that is a tough pick out of Kansas. Todd's Person's tough pick. Left outside linebacker. Left outside linebacker's been weak. Good pick from Ole Miss, Walter Holloway. I think they had two really good cornerbacks come out of them that were both potential high picks, first and second round picks. This guy is just a guy that got lost in the shadow of the other two. Walter Holloway could potentially get some playing time in Seattle. Don't know how good he's going to be, but we'll see. And Denver's on the clock. But I think Denver's going to have their assistant coach draft from, so we'll wait.
Their drafts following their big weekends. There are some storylines I'd like to follow up on. The Denver Broncos pick is about in. See how they go and pick him in the sixth.
The Rams are now on the clock.
And they get Jerron Cox out of NC State. He's a talented player, but I think he's going to be a bit of a project going forward. He could be somebody you see in about 4 to 5 years on that team, maybe as a slot corner.
Yeah, that's if they're willing to develop the guy into they might just give up on him and let him walk after his rookie year's up, you know.
That would make completely understandable as well. The LA Rams on the clock again. And I can't stress enough how good their early round drafting was. The first 3 rounds were 4 potential starters. I mean, two first round guys that are definitely going to be on the field for him. One form or fashion, free safety probably going to be starting Chris Rosenau. And I think the cornerback is going to be a new guy. The first year starting to use strong safety to wide receiver, definitely weak starters. The rookie deals, drafted around 5 bunch. At this point, I'd like to see him continue to at least take shots at defense, maybe even go with an offensive lineman. I mean, what's the worst that can happen at this point? I think it was really good class there. And I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence still does need a little bit more protection. I think the man has been forcing some really bad passes just to avoid taking hits because he's been in practiced up back in certain games. It makes you nervous. Infection of QB17. Rams picking him.
The The Packers are now on the clock.
Tight end Christian Leak, so it's like we got somebody to go outside and beat Mr. Briarman over in LA. So it's like you might have a two-headed monster out of the tight end position here.
I mean,
it's not going to be a game breaker by any stretch, but I mean, having a guy with hands on any offense is just
always nice. But I think he was pretty set on his depth with tight ends. Doesn't he have at least 2 or 3 big tight ends on his team?
I was going to say, I know he definitely has Baby Gronk, but I feel like outside of him, I feel like the other tight ends are starting to age. You feel like, having a position's not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not.
We're not halfway through the 6th round here. They're about to start running after wood for late 6th. Once we get to the late 6th, I think we are going to start moving to strictly stop calling picks on this to be fun. They are noting, as most of the players that are your traditional
and
again, once we move to round 7, we will bring Coach AJ Gibson for his interview. Coach AJ is going to be standing by for an invite to the party if you are still in the stream. About 10 minutes out from getting into
The Texans are now on the clock.
Todd McBride out of Mississippi State heading over to the Green Bay Packers. It does seem like the depth of that class is starting to plateau.
I'm surprised that we've seen the left tackles go so good for so long. It's very surprised to see how good this O-line draft is.
Absolutely, but I mean, it definitely shows that it did have a fall off for me, because you see the London Monarchs were the last ones to select on the tackle, and the quality player that full position probably going from C and D as far as talent coming into, or even A or maybe a C as far as the C. So we'll definitely see how this guy pans out for the Packers. Probably going to see him on the practice squad. The backups coming into the preseason early this year, but we'll see. Houston Texans on the board as well. They haven't really drafted well since the 2nd round. Only one pick since round 2 on the 57th as tackle. Again, practice squad depth guy. We'll see if he can find a dynamic run here. The Texans are going to bounce back. The AFC South no longer laughing stock of the league as we have sent 2 consecutive division winners to the playoffs in 7 and 9. We'll see how they can rebound, if they can rebound.
The Colts
see what they
are
draft.
now on the clock.
Adrian Cox out of Memphis, another great pick here, but again, depending on how he looks, we could see this guy develop.
The London Monarchs are now on the clock.
Selecting Forrest Holiday, wide receiver at SMU. Not a bad fight right there. It's just you're not going to see any career starters. You're going to see a lot of these guys getting back runs or practice squad the rest of their careers. But it's a nice day to see your name called. These guys, congratulations, Forrest Holiday. Welcome to the NFL. Ninth pick in the draft. I think they've had the most picks so far in this draft as far as our user coaches are concerned. It's been extraordinarily successful thus far. I'd like to think that the guy he's got something up his sleeve here. It's just pretty shitty coming up in the next 30 seconds. I don't know. They can see this
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Yeah, the Oakland Raiders take this pick.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Alright, pick sometimes. The tight end off the board here today starts to work as 5 rounds of regulation. Baltimore Ravens here still on the board this year.
The Chicago Tigers are now on the clock.
Baltimore Ravens select Austin Simon, right after left outside linebacker, East Carolina.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Chicago Tigers select UTEP quarterback Isaac Peck. He is actually the nephew of DSRL head coach, the New York Giants, Chris Peck. It's very exciting to see his nephew come into the league and continue to play for such a wonderful franchise. As this is the relocated Detroit Lions, it is nice to see his nephew come into and play for his uncle's favorite team. So very interesting development here as we will follow his career story going forward. Alright, Cincinnati Bengals are now on the clock for their probably first of 2 6th-round picks. Alright, here we go.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Keyshawn Henderson, right end of Missouri, good.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Concordia University of St. Paul, Jaden Buckner, drafted junior Buffalo Bills. Great pick there, as he is a potentially like early 3rd round talent going this late in the draft. It's quite a steal.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Virginia Tech quarterback Trey Williamson is now off the board to the New England Patriots. Congratulations, Mr. Williamson.
Seriously, yeah, but all right, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you the whole time.
When I was talking about my teeth.
Yeah.
I didn't have my headset in, so good. So when are you gonna get these interviews going?
I was gonna say, the end of this round, I'm trying to get it charged up, and like I said, we'll have Coach Stay True or Coach AJ Hicks to the San Diego Crusaders come in first. We'll have the Arizona Cardinals head coach follow that. We'll have Coach Nick Saban, the Dallas Cowboys finalize the process. The Kansas City Chiefs pick is being brought into the commission now. And we have our
Packers are now on the clock.
Out of Cal Poly. Strong safety Kirby Hobbs.
I've never heard of this college a day in my life.
Not a big school, that's for sure. Maybe
Yeah.
Packers on the board again.
I hope he can probably shed some light on that school for us this year.
School is most definitely
Do they even have a sports worker now?
I mean, they should if it's in the game. I mean, it's impossible.
I was just cracking a joke. That's all.
Creative Packers on the board again after they selected a left tackle in this round. We did start to see the film in this one fall off quite a bit.
And I mean, as it should. We're in the 6th round. Like, one more round left. These are pretty much, if you're drafting somebody in the 6th round, you're just drafting them because you see something you like in a guy, whether it's his name, where he went, you know, something you like in him, and he probably not touch the field, maybe play on a practice spot for a couple years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The Dolphins are now
Evan
on the clock.
McMullen, middle linebacker, New Mexico.
I mean, very weak middle linebacker class this year. Very weak linebacker class, period, this year. I mean, typically we see a couple of good guys that we know is finna come out there and just produce like he was born to be in the
49ers are now
NFL.
on
But now, I don't know. I don't know about this year.
Absolutely. Josh Elam, left guard out of Colorado State. Decent talent for the pick, for the round. So we'll definitely see how he looks going into the NFL. Going in, San Francisco 49ers are now on the board as we're starting to get to the better round, or better period of this round. We probably got about 7 picks left in the 6th round. So stay true. If you are in here, Jesus, party is quite good.
The London Monarchs are now on the clock.
Worst pick of the draft. I think that was a biased pick because Coach McDonald has come out of Oklahoma as an alumni.
I mean, like I said, you're drafting somebody you like. Hey, he's from Oklahoma. I'm gonna give him a chance. Like, I personally don't like the kid's name, but I got nothing against him.
Jamarque
Acosta. Why am I eating original Fritos?
I don't know, but the question is why did you give me the
He left out. What? They were still here.
The Oklahoma City Bison are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Right outside linebacker from Arizona is the selection here. 56 overall player. He's not terrible, but he's definitely not going to be seeing the field for a very long time.
Sweet, sweet Jesus. You just don't want to know.
McCarthy out of Lehigh University.
max. I bet. Yeah. My man played it like a king. Real king shit right there. We're waiting on Coach Jackson coming here for his interviews. We'll head to the 7th round of the draft right now. This draft's been a pretty good one, I think, for the San Diego Crusaders. I think they're looking really, really good for next season. I'd like to see how they progress going forward. Hopefully he comes on in here to talk to him. If not, we will get Coach Nick Saban on the phone and have the Dallas Cowboys ready to go. And if he's not available, then we're going to get our coach from Arizona Cardinals in. Either way, we're going to get an interview in here. Absolutely. If we can get him in here for an interview, that'd be wonderful. Absolutely.
The Brooklyn Beats are now on the clock.
I mean, let's also note here the San Diego Crusaders picked nothing but defense rounds 1 through 7. This is a big deal.
The London Monarchs are now on the clock.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see how his draft class turns it out. I think he might have one of the best classes in the draft. It's probably going to be pretty awful there, but if we're going to be completely honest with you, there have been quite some stinkers in your class that have been grown draft pick. Those stinkers outweigh the good picks. With that being said, since we are not getting Coach Hicks on the line, he's completely ignoring his line, we're gonna get Coach Saban in here. Once he gets in here, hopefully we'll get to talking and see how he's looking for this season. Right now we got a few more seconds on the London Monarchs. Monarchs have been obviously pretty consistent. Yeah, their worst pick was their last one, but outside of that, they've been pretty much, anybody on that team can be a starter in 3 to 4 years, every single pick. So
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Pierre Richards from Purdue. I think this is going to be a solid pick again for the Monarchs. Consistency across the board.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Absolutely. Kane Whitaker next.
The Jaguars are now on the
Now
clock.
the pick on your dart and flag. Caitlin Britt.
Okay,
Patriots
so
are now on the clock.
Coach Kelly, I'm getting called again.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Back, fullback, potentially listed as a draft player after that fullback went in the second round this year, highest fullback drafted in a very long time. But interesting to see somebody get picked when they were most definitely listed as an undrafted player. New England had an interesting strategy this year. After Coach Kyle left now, that was some shambles due to his Chip Kelly style coaching decisions, drafting decisions, and just his quote-unquote rebuild was a disaster. So to see this is just a little concerning if you're a Patriots fan, because it's been almost a decade since you've had anything of relevance. Absolutely. I mean, they're probably upset they missed out on that massive fullback prospect earlier in the draft. They wanted to go in the second round. Neither here nor there.
The Raiders
you can't help
are
what
now
other
on the
teams
clock.
wind up picking. Marvin Rubin, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, will be their final pick in the draft. It looks like he's probably going to be somebody you've seen for years at all. Practice squad guy for now. Seeing him fight in preseason position on the depth chart.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Welcome to the coaching Arizona Cardinals. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing fantastic here as your draft just wound up ending right here. How do you grade the draft? Do you think it was one of the better classes in the league this year? How do you think the strategy worked out? Did you get everybody? Were these things that you wanted to go with?
A few of them, yes. Like the first three that Stewart, Washington, Beasley, those were definitely needs for my team. And like looking through my team, when I was wanting defense rather than offense, because I feel like, you know how the saying, best offense is the best defense.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. I mean, it
yeah.
seems like you took that strategy there for the second round. Free safety, linebacker, let them linebacker. That's 5 things in a row. That's 6. Yeah, they do. I mean, so what are you thinking going forward? Do you think you got a shot at making the playoffs this season with the roster you've got now?
I think we can get close. Maybe 6-7 games. I feel like we can win. I don't think we're quite
The
there
Rams
yet.
are now on the clock.
I think maybe 2-3 more years. Let the team more develop, a lot of rookies, see how other draft classes go. I think we could be a threat in the future. But for right now, I don't think we're right there at the playoffs.
Absolutely. Totally understandable, Coach. I mean, looking at how your division's gone, I mean, it seems like the Rams have stacked up. It seems like the Seahawks have just been Nostradamus in the draft, like picking players later than they should have ever gone. But somehow they've been dropping, and they're just in the 70s and 60s. And then looking at the Niners, I mean, the Niners are having a pretty terrible draft this year, but it seems like they've still got the roster to do it. I mean, do you think your division's going to be one competitive this year? Do you think do you think there's going to be a bottom feeder team, or do you think it's going to be more so you guys like 10, 6, 9, and 7? It's almost never going to 10 and 6 or 9 and 7. The situation.
Seeing how actually really close last season went, 8-8, 6-10, 6-10, 5-11. it's going to be very close to see who from our division goes on, and I think that's really what it's going to be down to, is who's more competitive, who more has the drive to win, to go to the playoffs, to go to the Super Bowl.
And speaking of your division, the Rams pick is coming in right now at around 7, pick 11. We'll see how they look going into this one.
The Packers
and
are now on the clock.
They pick up 66 overall.
That's a good steal right there.
Fullback, San Diego State. See, this is something his offense needs, and I think if Coach Shake and Bake were smart, he moves to a more traditional 2 wide receiver, 2 tight end, halfback, or 1 tight end, fullback, and half. That makes sense. More of a strong high formation. He utilizes Mr. Jack. I think you'll start seeing better sack numbers on the offensive side of the ball, and I think you'll see fewer turnovers. But that being said, I mean, Coach, congratulations on your draft. Looking forward to seeing your team play some preseason 1 and week 1 of the regular season. Is there anything you've noticed in this draft as a competitive coach within our league that just stands out to you? Any players picked, any teams specifically that you think had a great draft or that you're excited to see progress throughout this league?
It's definitely the Crusaders. They've had, I believe, the first pick in every round. They've gotten a lot of good steals, a lot of good players that were, I feel like, probably put way lower down the list, and they were able to pick them up. And I think they will probably be one of those more competitive teams this year, because they did get a lot of good rookies from this draft.
Yes.
As long as they build up what they had, they had a 2-and-something record, I believe, last year or something, or something close to
The
it.
Texans are now on the
They were 2-12
clock.
when they hired Coach Shix after firing their coach, and he wasn't able to win a game to bring them any better than 2-14. But the man did very, very well in his time with Atlanta. So I'm curious to see how he's able to put that team together in what I would consider very biased, the toughest division in the DSRL currently, with myself, the Bengals, the Ravens, and now the Crusaders, all world beaters in some sense of offense or defense. So very interesting to see how he puts together his roster. But thank you for stopping by again. Once again, it was definitely a pleasure to have you on multiple times throughout this draft weekend. I appreciate your promptness with calling in. But thank you again. Good luck with your season.
Yeah, you as well. Let's go Browns, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go Browns. Thank you again, Coach. That being said, we're looking at the Houston Texans about to call their pick in right here. That was Cowboys, and both the Cowboys and the Crusaders coaches have both refused to call in, so I can't get either of them to get in here for their interview.
The Colts are now on the clock.
So we got 61 overall right tackle from North Dakota State. That guy's got pedigree there, so it's interesting to see how it comes.
The London Monarchs are now on the clock.
Yeah, I'd love to interview Coach Peck, because there's a lot of questions I'd actually like to ask him, not even just pertaining to his team, but some storylines involving potential players coming into the league that I think pertain very interestingly to him. When the Monarchs are on the clock, as well as we're waiting for Chris Peck to get in here for his interview, I do believe this will be a really good time to bring you up that the Giants had not made the playoffs in the past 7-8 seasons. Coach Peck was brought on last season. They started off 2-5, and it was looking like just the same, and that man rattled off 9 straight wins to make the playoffs 11-5. Unfortunately, he didn't make it out of the first round, but everything looks like he's going to be doing very well in the future. But yeah, we'll see if we can get on in here. 30 seconds left on the pick with the Monarchs. our page. I mean, this is just really appreciate it as it will put money into the server and allow us to have prizes and trophies and payouts for these great players. And Isaac Dickinson, or Dixon off the clock, or off the board for Monday Monarchs. We're back at a USF. We're starting to see more complex off the board. This is a great thing for them. We got the Los Angeles Rams pick coming in. This should be the last pick of the year for them. Probably that will be good for them as well, so they draft extraordinarily well this season.
The Brooklyn Beats are now on the
We
clock.
got Julius Holmes representing out of Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State, everybody, is now got a player in the NFL. Congratulations to you, Julius Holmes. 69 overall free safety, now going to the Los Angeles Rams. Las Vegas Rams, thank you. Jesus Christ.
The Chicago
And Coach
Tigers
Hicks
are
is
now on
finally
the clock.
called in, so it's a pleasure to have you on here, Coach Hicks. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Sorry about that. I had a family emergency.
No, all good, all good. Totally understandable, Coach Hicks. I can talk to you about your draft. I mean, it seems like you did quite a hell of a job here, and I noticed a pretty common theme here. You didn't select a single
The
offensive player in this
Redskins are now
draft.
on the clock.
Am I correct or am I wrong here?
You correct. The main focus was the defense. Offensively, I do like what we got, but the offense is getting kind of old, but they're in their prime, so there's still some room to develop these guys. But the defense needed a complete overhaul. Like I said when I drafted back in the first round, defense would be the main focus that's coming into this season. We got a division that's got a whole bunch of high-power offense. We got to be that team that's going to be willing to step up to that offense and challenge them with a high-power defense. And that's what I plan on doing with this team.
I mean, like I said, even going back to the first one, just Harold and going all the way back, team most recent pick this last round. I mean, everybody, it seems like, even going into the fourth round, could even start or be on the field a lot this season. I mean, your fifth, sixth, and seventh round guys, it looks like they'll be on the practice squad or developmental, but I mean, every single player on your roster that you pick up, rounds 1 through 7, looks like they're going to be a starter on your team in the future. I mean, how do you grade your draft,
I can't really put a letter grade on the draft. I mean, honestly, we drafted for need, and we drafted for guys that we see that's either going to be rotational guys or starter guys. I feel like, the first two guys that we picked up, they could be day one starters. Especially with our first and second round pick. The third round pick, I feel like he could be fitted in as a rotational guy. And the fourth round is the same as well too. So that's what we're looking at, and we just excited, to get these guys back into the facilities so we can get our hands on them and see what we can do.
Absolutely, and I hate to break away from that, but it seems like the Buffalo Bills just got themselves really good late rounds. 7th round, pick 20, 71 overall quarterback.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Buffalo Bills. I mean, how do you think about that, Coach Hicks? I mean,
that's it.
Dropping that late, that's insane.
That's insane, but I'm pretty sure that young man is good. Is just blessed to be drafted. He's going to a good organization that got full fan support behind him. Known as the craziest fans in the NFL. So I'm sorry about that, but still, one of the craziest fans in the NFL. So like, that's gonna be a steal for him. I think he's gonna be definitely on the field. Not if not a starter, definitely getting significant snaps.
Absolutely, and again, looking at your division, I mean, how do you think that the AFC North stacks? I mean, I personally, as a coach, being in the division for the past 7 years, I would have to say I think we're probably the toughest division in the NFL right now. And how do you look at it? You come from a division in the NFC South that was easily one of the toughest for the first 4 seasons of this league. I mean, what do you think now? Do you think the AFC North is that tough?
I really honestly think the AFC North is that tough. To be honest, I've been trying to get in the division with these coaches for the longest. The coaches of these teams for the Browns and for the Bengals, I looked up to them for the most highest respect. Like I honestly judge myself based on what they've been able to do in their careers too. So,
wow. That's a massive steal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Right end, Marquise Curry, 70 overall from the University of Arizona, going pick 22 in the 7th round. And that's huge.
That's a steal.
Fantastic.
He's definitely going to be a rotational guy. I don't see him starting, but I definitely see him being a rotational guy. Probably
he'll be a starter by year 3.
Yeah, I see him probably on the field for like first and second down, for base packages and stuff like that. And then, they're bringing in the dogs on third down or third and medium, third and long, stuff like that.
Oh, and absolutely. I mean, this right end is like, out of the raw talent on the board for Kansas City, he's the 3rd best player that they picked up. And I mean, he's better than the guys he's got rounds 4, 5, and 6, and even better than the 2nd round pickup. So I mean, this Marquise Curry guy, they saw something we did for obvious reasons. I'd watch out for that guy to be something special. In year 3 for him. Los Angeles Rams once again on the board with their 3rd pick in the 7th round.
But we gotta give it up to all the teams with the limited scouting we was able to do this season coming into this draft, and how great this draft been going. I gotta give props to the whole league. Props to to everyone scouts and everyone handling it how they could handle it, and hopefully we have a good competitive season this season.
Absolutely. I think. Pardon my French.
Yeah. The Rona kind of messed up everybody for this one, but hey, we're gonna get through it, and next season, we'll definitely have a combine, and hopefully it'll be bigger and better, Alright,
so you get the Tennessee Titans on the board here as the 7th round. We're starting to come to a close. I mean, Coach Nix, we weren't able to get Coach Nick Saban in here for an interview, but I mean, how do you think the NFC stacking up this year? I mean, do you think Coach Saban's going to make a run at it again? Do you think you start seeing a new factor? Do you think the Buccaneers finally push the Super Bowl? I think the Bisons revitalized their team after exit after their Super Bowl. Like, there's a lot of talent in that NFC. I mean, it's really anybody's game when it gets to the playoffs.
The way I see it right now, Coach Saban, with his Cowboys, they're the team to beat. They was always the team to beat, even when I was in the NFC. They're going to remain the team to beat. Tampa Bay, when I was there, they was, wasn't bottom feeder to me. Everyone looked at them as a bottom feeder. I looked at them as a middle of the pack. Just, had an explosive offense and just had to get that defense right. Now they got that defense right with that explosive offense. I see the NFC coming down to the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bisons still going to compete. I feel like the Cardinals might step up in the right direction, and hopefully things will be a little bit closer. But yeah, Coach Saban is definitely the team to beat in the NFC.
Absolutely is. Waiting for the Monarchs' final pick to come in here. I mean, their draft again, once again, is pretty good. As this is there as well, their 3rd pick in the 7th round. It seems like a few teams themselves really stacked their 7th round picks to see if they can gamble and get some talent. I mean, he definitely didn't get much there. Coach Boss Hogg goes with his gut here and actually winds up picking a great player. Jerry Stringer, strong safety at the University of Arkansas, 66 overall in the 7th round. Fantastic pickup for Boss Hogg.
That's a steal in the 7th round.
That's a homer pick too.
Yeah, that's still a steal in the 7th round to me. So.
Oh, absolutely. Michael Phillips for NC State going to Arizona late in this round as well.
Now, the thing I'm waiting to see is who's really going to emerge in the next couple of seasons out of this draft, and out of the picks coming from the 4th or later rounds. Those going to be be nice to see. Like who's those players that does emerge out of this late draft picks and stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely don't think you're going to see a quarterback out of that group, but I do think you might see some all-pro left tackles, and defensive linemen, maybe a strong safety or the free safety out of those groups that have been picked up later in the 6th and 7th rounds. And I think we've got some really special talent here this year. Really not deep, but the guys who are getting good picks are definitely talented, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Kirkland Clifford from the University of Troy. Coach Hicks is actually alma mater.
Yep. Go Trojans.
Bucks are now on the board as we are now 3 final picks away from the DSRL Draft weekend. Once this is done and we get over in advance until preseason week 1, you're going to be looking at the DSRL website on the draft feed over the next couple days, and you'll be seeing our draft grades and some articles come out about how this weekend went for myself and a couple of our league writers. I'd be really excited for it. You should be really excited about it. And this preseason will be really interesting as well. Shout out to everybody who's part of the DSRL, supporting us on all of our Twitches, YouTubes, and videos. Anything that you can do, you guys support it. Whether you're within the league, outside the league, just a part of the server, whatever it is, we definitely appreciate you, and this is why we do this. We got 20 seconds or so until the Tampa Bay pick.
The Browns are now on the
George
clock.
Franklin, the worst rated player that's actually come off the board in this draft so far. But it's 2 picks from the end of the draft, so. And the Cleveland Browns, my final pick, is on the board. We're gonna see.
Can't tell them anything.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
That is Dallas. Let's see who Dallas picks for Mr. Irrelevant.
Alright, boys, well, I gotta get up out of here, though.
Alright, Coach Hicks, thank you again for stopping in for the interview. You have a great evening, and thank you again for stopping by.
No problem. Y'all have a good one.
You as well, sir. You want to talk about it? Going on that? Mr. Irrelevant is Juan Medlin, quarterback out of University of Missouri. Alright, that being said, we're going to get Coach Christopher back in here for a final interview before we cut the stream. Again, thank you for everybody who's tuned in. Definitely appreciate your support throughout the stream. We got our invites in and our invitation to join the stream. We're waiting now for Coach Chris to be back. Let's see how this goes. Welcome in, Coach Chris Peck. How you doing today? Doing well. How do you draft one this year? I mean, I have to say, like, you ended your season on a high note. You started 2-5, won 9 in a row, got your team to the playoffs for the first time for the New York Giants in the recent decade. Your first year as a head coach, managed to pick up some really good talent after round 1, since you didn't draft in round 1. Your round 2 talent was fantastic. Round 3, round 4 were great. I mean, you only had 4 picks, but all of those guys, they can be, future starters. Do you think you can repeat the playoffs this year? Do you think you're going to make a further push? Absolutely, and not to do anything with your team, but quarterback Isaac Peck was selected by the Chicago Lions, or I'm sorry, the Chicago Tigers, the former Detroit Lions. I mean, how does it feel to have your nephew playing for what was your former team and now your rival city? You think he's ever going to be a potential starter? One bad season after consecutive playoff runs, and they get rid of the man. It's wild. But how do you think your division stacks up this coming year? I feel like the Redskins drafted well. I feel like the Cowboys drafted well, and the Eagles drafted really well. I mean, do you think your division toughens up? Do you think there wants to be a little more parity, or do you think there's going to be a dominant force in your division this year? I mean, I know you get Saquon stuff, but you picked up a great running back at the University of Michigan, Juwan Payne. I mean, he was projected, earlier in the draft to be like a 4th-round pick. He's got immense amounts of talent. He was on a back-to-back national champion, Michigan Wolverines roster. So, I mean, for him, it doesn't seem like much of a big step in terms of competition. Do you think you're gonna give this man some playing time in the preseason or regular season? Solid halfback too.
defensive tackle, correct? Absolutely. With picks too. I mean, they were very well represented in this draft as well. So I mean, it's nice to see some more Arkansas guys come into the league. But definitely got to cut this stream and cut this interview. Coach Chris Peck, nice to have you on the stream, and good luck this season. Alright, anybody tuning into the stream, thank you for tuning in. It's about another 2.5 hour stream for the draft. This is about a 5-hour draft weekend. Both streams are going to be archived on my channel. If you're interested, throw a like and a share on the draft experience. The donation link for the channel is in the chat. If you're interested, thank you. I really appreciate it. But yeah, no, absolutely. Heading into week 1 for the preseason going now. Congratulations to everybody who won the draft. Thank you for tuning into the stream. It's a wonderful. Not as many views as last time, but still a good stream. Yesterday I maxed out, but there was like 12 viewers at one point current, and I think I hit. It's a little bit more stream. I agree, but it was definitely a need.